Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. Welcome to the Writer Time Podcast. I'm Mike, your host, and we are here to discuss none other than Kamen Rider Gavv, episode 17. Caramel Tentacles taste like happiness. And oh boy, oh man, you know, it was a rough week, I have to say. And a lot of you know what's been going on here in the LA County. A lot of people had to evacuate due to the fires. There's a lot of crazy issues going on, including both environmental hazards as well as human-made hazards. And everyone's been doing their part in trying to either stay safe or help others stay safe. And I've been trying to do my part. If you've been following me on Instagram, like some stuff that's been going on. Unfortunately, it's for this reason that this episode has been delayed for a hot minute. I know that by this point, episode 18 has already aired in Japan, and I know some of you might be thinking, well, what are your thoughts on episode 18? I did not watch episode 18 yet. I'd rather review episode 17 first, then watch episode 18 on my own. So, this is where I am. Here's where we are. But in any case, hope everyone's having a happy new year because this episode starts off with a mochi festival, and of course our boy Shoma, being new to human culture, is making mochi for the first time. So this is really sweet because he's like using the hammer in order to pull the mochi dough in that pit, and he's like celebrating. Oh, look how stretchy it is! It's so cool. So let's talk about mochi. Like it's really interesting because mochi first appeared in the 6th century, in the Kofun era. And yeah, it was mostly a means of processing rice. You get rice, you have water, you steam it, and rice over time becomes like a stretchy dough. And over the centuries, the purpose of mochi has changed over time, as well as like it's the way it's made has changed over time. The different ways we consume it has also changed. So, for example, in the 8th century, in the Nara period, there was a story about a rich man who shot an arrow into a ball of rice, and it flew away by turning into an owl. So it is believed that, when mochi is round, it has more of a spiritual side to it. And it kind of makes sense because people like roundness. And then in the Heian period, it was used for the purpose of childbirth and marriage in the Shinto culture. The Heian period lasted from towards the end of the 700s all the way through 11 to 1200 AD, like somewhere in that ballpark. And of course, sometimes people would put mochi into the baby's mouth after 50 days of being born. Now there's further accounts of it would eventually be used in New Year's festivals, especially around nobility, because mochi would symbolize a long life and well-being. And this was first recorded in Tales of Genji. By the way, if you have ever read the Tales of Genji, I highly recommend it. And of course, the use of different styles of making mochi became more prominent throughout history. And they would make different flavors of mochi, like green tea mochi. In modern day, you would have spring festivals where they make sakura mochi, which uses red bean to give mochi like a pink color on the inside, as well as Children's Day, which is usually on May 5th. So really enjoy the style of making mochi. Now, the use of ice cream in mochi has become a little bit more common during World War II, and it is said that it was actually someone from the United States, a Japanese American, that came up with the concept by using ice cream with the rice dough surrounding it. Now, of course, the use of the mallet, of course, is in order to stretch and knead the dough, because when you slam it down, you kind of squeeze out the juices. But also, when you pull the mallet out from the dough, it causes the dough to stretch. And there's a lot of paintings from the Heian era where for the wedding ceremony, use making of mochi, it would be stretched out really long, really long, and I'm like, I can't imagine the dough would be that long, but there it is. Now, and of course, it is very often mochi is sometimes left alone for a couple of days for it to kind of like ferment on its own, and it is believed that by consuming aged mochi, one establishes like healthier teeth and bones, because it gets more of a pale white color to it. And so, I made my own mochi like very last minute out of scratch, and of course, because I have my own health issues, I didn't use any actual rice to make this. It's sort of a peanut butter with vanilla pudding mochi. It's still very stretchy. And doughy, which is great, and it's just really good. Of course, this is just a prototype. I threw it in last minute. I know that I could do a better job at it, but it's still really amazing what you could do if you just like do things instinctively, just like out of out on the fly. And yeah, surprisingly, this actually does taste a lot like real mochi, but with peanut butter. So yeah, this tastes really good. Now, but let's focus more on the plot, because while Shoma is enjoying his mochi, some of the mothers in the background are discussing how like a kid disappeared, and they're like, a good kid, really nice, would never disappear. So Sachiko over here says that is now really concerned. Maybe this could be a disappearance. And as we all know, Ragin 9 is skulking around, and he's really good at stealing a lot of bodies. Like he walks into a senior classroom, like a class 4 seniors, and he takes the entire classroom. Meanwhile, there's a bird-themed Granude who's also trying to get some human presses, but it's not doing as good of a job as Ragin 9, because, let's be honest, it's Ragin 9. Now, of course, Niel has a job for this Granude, because it's time for Ragin 9 to test out this new belt that Niel has been working on. So let's have a playthrough of his plan. So naturally, Shoma and Hanto come to the conclusion that, yeah, this is probably the work of an enemy stand. I mean, Granude. So they go investigate, trying to look for some of the missing persons. And one of the people that Shoma ends up asking is a mysterious black-coated person. we all know is Rocky 9, but he doesn't know that. But but another citizen mentions that he knows of another kid that went missing after after they went to go see a movie. And yeah, it's very suspicious that a crowd full of people just suddenly disappear inside a movie theater. And of course, we do have an encounter between Yelv and Ragi 9 saying, hey, I have a preposition for you. How would you like to make a lot of dark candy? More than the dark candy I'm making from working for Lango? What do you think? What do you think? See, there are some guys hunting granules, and I want you to be a hunter. See, you got Don Brothers, you got a Don Brother killer, then you got the Don Brother killer. So yeah, there we get a lot. So we get a lot of investigations of missing persons, but there is a common link. The person who is missing is always someone really nice. Someone really nice. Oh no, Sachika might be in trouble. So Sachika is like carrying some stuff, and of course she sees a woman like lose her ribbon, and of course naturally she catches the ribbon for the woman, and it's like, oh, thank you so much. And it's very obvious that this woman is the bird granny. Of course, Shoma shows up in time to intercept, and of course he knows that he cannot confront this granny in front of Sachika because one, she doesn't know that Shoma is a Kamen Rider, nor does she know that Hanto is a Kamen Rider. And it's really interesting because Sachika gets suspicious of the both of them because they're both disappearing when monsters show up. But Hanto's even more suspicious of Shoma because Shoma seems to know more about the Grand News that he leads on. He doesn't want to believe that he's hiding something, but something deep inside tells him otherwise. So, so they continue investigating, and of course he sends out one of his gochizos in order to spy on this woman. Of course, once she gets inside underneath a building, she seemingly loses her ribbon again for Ragian 9 to catch it. And of course, she uses that as an attempt to capture him. But of course, he intercepts her saying, hey, I'm like you, but better. But I got a job for you. So, this is where we get to the good part. We forget trying to go after random people, who catch a ribbon. We're going straight for the assault. We're going. The woman is just waiting for Hanto and Shoma to show up. Of course, the two of them beautifully transform. I love seeing them together. And, Hanto, he goes straight to the whole, chocolate Noel form that we saw in the previous episode. It's cool that, I don't know, usually don't they get burnt out, when he uses them? So, did he get a bunch more over time? Or is there, a new thing where, it's just strong enough for him not to get another one? But the bird granute, she can fire projectiles from above, making them harder to making it harder to hit. So they come with a clever strategy of using the axe from the bushel de Noel form in order to form a catapult in order to get Hanto closer to it so they could bring it down to the ground. But as soon as they try to use a finisher move against her, out of nowhere shows up the mysterious cloaked person who is Takamichi from Kira Majors? Okay, it's Takamichi from Kira Majors. The actor, not the character. But Shoma recognizes him as a person he was questioning earlier about the disappearance. Of course, at first he thinks, "Oh no, like you're in the wrong place. You need to get out of here. It's dangerous. Get out of here." And of course, he reveals himself to not only be a Granute, Raga 9, but also he transforms even further into Kamen Rider Vlam, a pudding-themed Kamen Rider. Although more accurately, it's a flan-themed Kamen Rider. So insert Curse of Carly Dog reference. Vlam, Vlamity, Vlam. Vlam, Vlamity, Vlam. Vlam, Vlamity, Vlam. Vlam, Vlamity, Vlam. The transformation sequence is kind of interesting because there's like a giant glass cup that just covers him entirely. And then you got these two giant spoons, like just scooping out all the flan out of his surrounding. And then they become these little like headphone antennas. It's really adorable. Costume design, I'm not the biggest fan of it. It doesn't look bad. It's just compared to the other two suits, I just don't care for it as much. Of course, Shoma wants to believe that because he's a Kamen Rider, he's going to help him out. But of course, Valen thinks that because he's a Granute, he cannot be trusted. And immediately, Vlam just goes blam on our two riders. He is able to use his tentacles from his Granute form while a Kamen Rider in order to like throw them both up into the sky and then slam them back down. And of course, when Valen tries to fight him, he's able to just sort of parry away the axe using his legs, his knees. He's basically being gelatinous in his movements, which is perfect because he is a jellyfish. And he is a pudding-themed Kamen Rider. Makes sense. But of course, Shoma also tries to use a sword to fight Vlam. But of course, it yields about the same kind of results. Vlam is able to dodge all the attacks, turn his sword against him, and then cause Shoma to get hit by his own attack. And of course, this is where the episode ends, with him looking over menacingly. What happens next? Who knows? But I am excited to see what happens next. Now, I'll say this. The bird Granute, I did not care for because she was really unimportant to the plot. Like, let's be honest. She served no purpose at all other than to lure out the main characters. I would like to see more stuff happen with Raga 9 in this episode besides the whole, oh, I'm going to turn an entire classroom full of senior citizens into candy. In a previous episode, we were being very suspicious that he had something going on in order to earn the trust of the Stomach family. Like he had some kind of ulterior motives. But what are those motives? We know that Gavv has ulterior motives. What are those motives? I just wish we had more of that. Not really much happened this episode. I get it. It's generally a two-parter, but I just wish we could have done more with it. So, as cool as some of the stuff was, I have to give the episode an 8. So, the choreography was actually not bad. I did like the fact that, they're trying to be creative with their tactics while fighting, the monster. But I feel like Vlam showed a little too late to the episode, and yeah, I just wish that we have more time to explore the character. If anything, he just shows up seemingly randomly. I wish we had more. I mean, at least have more scenes with Vlam, with Raga 9's human form interacting with Shoma and Hanto and Sachika. Cause like all we get of him is just him like ignoring Shoma saying, "How dull," and then he keeps walking. I feel like we could have gotten more than that. That's all I'm saying. Let me know what you guys thought, and also let me know what your favorite flavor of mochi is. Mine is honeydew. It's rare to find, but it's honeydew, followed by Ichigo, followed by cookies and cream. Maybe afterwards it might be mango, but I'm not a fan of. I'm not. I can't eat red beans, so unfortunately, I cannot do Sakura. But let me know what you guys think. Mhm. Sorry about how the fires are affecting you. Hope you and the crew are safe. I appreciate it. The crew, everyone in the crew is safe. Ryan and Jen are back home, which is great. Leo, like he was always safe, so that's great. I don't know what's Clement's situation right now. Noemi, probably a little bit more dire because I know she lives closer to the fires to my recently. Because the fires move around, that's part of the problem. Me, I've been safe so far, but I do have an evacuation kit set up just in case. But here's hoping I won't need to use it. But I hope all of you guys are safe too. I mean, obviously, Jacob, Steve, and Jared don't live anywhere close to LA, so they're all safe. Thankfully, I don't have to worry about them as in addition to my existing friends. But yeah, we're all safe. At the moment. Hopefully, we will stay safe. Yeah. I'm glad that you're running the episode better late than never. I know how much you try to be consistent. I appreciate that. Yeah, I usually like to do episode. I try to do episodes on Wednesdays as much as possible. And I really hate doing anything that involves like skipping an episode or like doing doubles of current seasons because last time we did doubles of a current season was back in Revice. And the problem was is that it it ended up going into a really long hiatus, and then we had to do a lot more doubles just to catch up. And the episode titles were really long, so making the episode titles was annoying. Now, going into Geets, thankfully we did everything week by week. Gotchard, week by week. Gavv, so far we've been week by week, but unfortunately this 1 week, because of the fires, I had to move it from Wednesday to Friday, and then from Friday to Saturday. And if there's one thing I hate about doing it on Saturday is because the next episode airs on Saturday, and you guys want to know what's going to happen next. But again, I don't watch the next episode till like Monday or Tuesday, so hope all is well. Oh, thank you, Nemetrix. Yeah, things are okay for now, so let's keep it up. Thoughts on the new writer? Honestly, I don't know. Like he's giving me Necrom vibes from Ghost, where it's like, oh, he's gonna be our enemy for the next, let's say, 5 to 9 episodes. But we're gonna eventually make him one of us. But I do find it more interesting the fact that you have 3 different writers made by 3 different scientists. You got Dente creating Gavv. You got Suga inventing Valen. Now you have Niel making Lamb. I wonder if there's going to be like a pattern here where the 3 of them would have to team up. Who do you hope to see at Japan World Heroes this year? I don't know. I never really put much thought into it. I mean, they didn't really announce anything for Japan World Heroes this year. I mean, like, I would love to know if Scott is definitely doing Japan World Heroes this year, and if he is definitely got something cooking up. I know that for one, whatever season we do after X, which would likely be a Heisei era season, might be that maybe the main writer of that season would show up, so that when we're done with that season, we will be like fully prepared to meet that actor. Now, me, I've already watched every season of Kamen Rider, so it's like I'm good. But Steve, like some seasons he already watched all the way. Some seasons he's introduced to for the first time, and that's part of the fun of doing the archives. Is he'll be one of me, one of me, one of me. And more importantly, like we're gonna provide you with receipts that we've watched, that at least someone at Morphin Network watched every episode, and soon more than one person, well, in 7 years, more than one person will on our channel will have seen every episode of Kamen Rider, because we did a curated series on it. Now, yeah, it's very rare that someone can say that they watch every season, including the Showa seasons, because like Markusatsu, like praise be him, like he's watched everything from the Heisei era, but he has admitted that he did not watch everything from the Showa era. Meanwhile, I did watch everything from the Showa era, but did not watch all the movies and specials from the Heisei era, so that's where he has the edge over me. But it's not a competition. It's more of like, hey, wouldn't it be great if all of us had the best of all the worlds and whatnot? Super Sentai, I mean, it'd be nice to see Yuki Yamada show up, but I don't know. If there was one Ranger I would really want to meet, it's Boken Red. I want to see Akashi Satoru. Like, if I could meet him, that's the one that will matter to me the most. But I wouldn't mind, honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing a lot of the actors, like I would love to meet Haruna from Turbo Ranger. I would have loved to meet who else? Shun from Go-Go 5. I would love to meet Tetsu from Time Ranger. It's crazy how many Sentai actors I did meet. I met four of the Jew Rangers, Gal Red, Kiba Ranger, Ryu Ranger. Man, I love Die Ranger. You know what? Let's get a Die Ranger reunion in there. I mean, I know sadly certain members of the team passed away years ago, and that really sucks. But of the remaining members, I hope that we get to see more of them. Kaku Ranger 30th anniversary. Kane Kosugi. I would love to meet Kane Kosugi. That would be fantastic. As far as Ultraman goes, Hori. That's it. Like Hori. Just one answer. Hori. Okay, maybe I might also want to meet Gento from Blazar, because that way it's like I'm not just meeting a Ultraman actor, I'm also meeting a Kamen Rider actor, but also it's Johnny's Japanese counterpart. But the point is, but as far as Heisei era Ultraman goes, Hori, because Hori is love, Hori is life. Hori, just Hori. And that's it for the comments, guys. We hope you enjoyed. Please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon, stay notified for our latest videos, and we hope to see you again real soon, because on Sundays we do have Kamen Rider X. Monday we got the penultimate episode of Ultraman arc. Wednesday, we got another new episode of Kamen Rider Gavv, the one that aired today. And, of course, on Thursday, we got Bakuage Sentai Boom Boomger. We're getting really close to the final arc. We're on our end game. So so excited. And of course, check out our Morphin Network interviews. We got a lot of interviews in. If you haven't seen any of them yet, just to update, our most recent interviews that we've uploaded include Jacqueline Sislowski from Power Rangers Beast Morphers as Grid Battle Force Yellow Ranger, and Jason Font, who plays Wes in Power Rangers Time Force Red Ranger. So definitely check out those two interviews. We'll have even more uploaded. And of course, if you want to say hi to us in person, we will be at the Pasadena Comic-Con in January 26th. Please be sure to say hi to us. We love you, our darling fans. And of course, check out our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where we do various movie reviews. We haven't set up anything to watch for this month, but we will for next one for sure. And of course, if you want to follow my personal content, you could find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto. With all that said, guys, thank you so much. Please be sure to stay safe, stay hydrated. A day emergency kits. Hug your loved ones. Stay safe. Stay safe. Stay safe. Really update your emergency kits, especially if you're in the LA area. And we will see you again real soon. Hopefully, we will all be safe and sound.